everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Queen Talk. It has been a minute, but I am so excited to be back. We are a show where we bring together dope kingdom women for some games, some glam, and some godly girl talk. I am your host, Alicia Renee Greer. And today I have with me my friend, Kiesha Pomele. She is amazing, you guys. Okay, so Kiesha is a mompreneur, a Christian content creator. She is the owner of Andrea's Kitchen. She can throw down, y'all. She is the speaker on the Life Together podcast. I mean, what does she not do? I mean, that is really the question. And so I'm so excited to bring her on today. Since Mother's Day is right around the corner, we're going to be talking about our experience becoming first-time moms. But we'll get into that in just a second. So first, let's just welcome her. Hey, Kiesha.
Hi, I'm super excited to be on here, Alicia. Hello, everyone else for watching this. It's just a pleasure to sit across from you or virtually from you and be on Queen Talk Radio.
Yes. Well, we're going to jump right in. You guys know we always get started with a quick Q&A that lets you get to know the guest. So my first question is, how did you meet your husband, Vince?
Well, to make a long story short, he slid into my DMs on Instagram. But we have mutual friends in common. I know that he used to do music. Well, he does music. He's a musician. And so initially we met through a friend of mine who had a kind of like a casting call. So he kind of followed me through my friend's account. And so that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was through his music that he found me, but he pretty much slid into my DMs and was like, "Can I take you to dinner?" And initially I was like, "No, I'm busy." During that time, I was like super busy. I was in school getting my master's and I really wasn't interested in like dating or anything during that time. I just really wanted to focus on myself and get everything I needed to get out of the way. But he was definitely persistent. And what attracted me to him is that he started asking questions that the normal average Joe doesn't ask. So I made a couple trips. Yeah, I took a couple trips to go see my family, and I was traveling a lot during that time. I really wanted to designate time to like traveling and seeing the world. And, you know, some guys, they'll just slide into your DMs and say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and all this other stuff. And you're like, okay, tell me something else that's going to stimulate me. Right. So, yeah. So he started asking me about the reason why I was traveling to certain places, why I was going to certain beaches. And I was like, that's a good question. You know, so we kind of connected that way. And then it just was kind of like random conversations that led to us having dinner. And from the first time that we had dinner, it was like, okay. So from there, we just started dating. And a year and a half later, we ended up getting married.
Aww. Yeah. And now see, I have to show you guys the pictures because y'all two are so fly together. Look how cute they are. Okay. I mean, like, they are so cute. Let me even take this banner off. Okay. They got the matching outfits, like just so fly. Then y'all had this casual swag. Okay. I mean, y'all, this is so cute. This is so adorable. And then also y'all do some ministry together, don't you?
Yes, we do. So he is the pastor at Bridgeway Church in Vallejo. And so, yeah, so he's in ministry. I'm in ministry. I participate in whatever it is I'm needed to do pretty much at the church right now. Mainly I'm doing praise and worship. But yeah, we do ministry together. We do live together. And that's what really drew me to him was the fact that he put God first. You know, A lot of people want them in a lot of relationships, people get it misconstrued. They want the guy to put them first. And so that's how things go wrong. But knowing that he actually places God before everything was the reason why I was very interested and intrigued by getting to know him more. You know, once you put God first, then everything else follows and it all makes sense.
That's awesome. So moving on to the next question. So how long did you guys choose to wait before you had Genesis?
Oh, girl. So We got married May 24th. Oh my God. And then I think 3 months later I was pregnant. Like,
that is so
sis, when I
fast.
say we waited no time, like we waited no time to get pregnant. We weren't intentionally trying.
Okay, so that wasn't a plan.
But we were not taking any steps to preventing it either. So it just happened to fall that way. We definitely waited until we were married to be intimate with each other. So I think that also played a role in it.
I was excited.
By the time we were excited. I mean,
so you didn't have a lot of time of people bugging you. See, because my husband and I, we waited 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years into marriage before we kind of started trying. So I had 2 years of people asking me, when you gonna oh my gosh, it's like let people live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, it's like already the pressure of, and I think that's something that, especially as women, we experience a lot. It's like, when are you going to get married? And if you're single, it's like, when are you going to get married? Well, how am I going to get married if I don't have a guy? Can we date? Can I court this guy? Can I date him? Like, and then once you're married, it's like, when are you going to get a baby? It's like literally going through the same, what's that song? So sitting in a tree. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby. So it's like, we've already been like trained, right? Through society of like how things are going to work. And so, and I think that it brings a lot of pressure on us though, right? It's a lot of pressure because it's like, okay, look, I'm dating now, but just because I'm dating this person doesn't mean that this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. Like, I'm praying to God to let me know, like, God, is this the person that I'm supposed to be married to? Is this the person that I'm going to have children with? So it's just, I think, a lot of societal norms as well. And us being caught in this like little box, it's like structure telling us like, now is the time to have kids. Now is the time to be married. Now is the time, So
and then you never know too. Yeah. And then you never know if someone is struggling too, because there are some women that like they choose to start trying and then it doesn't happen, or they can even lose a pregnancy, So I just feel like it's really insensitive too for people to ask, because you don't know the situation. You don't know, they could be trying, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like people need to mind their business and then just celebrate people where they are. Yeah.
Exactly. Mind your business. Mind your business. Yeah. And I think that's great because, this is Mother's Day. So, we're so accustomed to celebrating mothers who actually have children who are now. But, I think Mother's Day is also celebrating those mothers who had children and they didn't make it through, full term. You're still a mother, regardless 100%. Of what your situation is, So just recognizing that as well, and like you said, being sensitive.
I totally feel you. So aside from deciding to live for Jesus, what's one accomplishment that you're really proud of from before you became a mother?
Oh, wow. I think my ability to be very disciplined in my finances has really been something that I am very proud of. Growing up, I didn't come from a lot of money. I didn't come from money at all. I just witnessed my parents going paycheck by paycheck, just watching them trying to stretch milk. I know how to stretch milk. Thank God I've never had to, but adding a little water to everything is something that I have witnessed. Not wasting any portion, saving everything. And even stuff that you're like, really, so just watching that, I've always told myself, like, when I become of age as an adult, I really want to understand why struggle is something that is prominent in my life, in my family. So I have paid off all my debt. I have like literally made my credit is 820. Like, that's something that I've been very intentional with. And then also understanding that, God gives to you, so you have to give back to him. So I think that has been something that I'm very proud about myself. Now that I am married and I have a daughter, I'm very grateful. My car is paid off. We have great credit, and so just moving forward, I want to continue to move forward in that season and even educate my fellow sisters, especially because, that womanhood and sisterhood is something that I definitely am, passionate about. When I was 19 years old, come to find out someone was using my social security number for like 3 years. Like, and they had put thousands of dollars in my name, just crashed my credit. And so my credit score was so bad that they couldn't even pull it up.
Wow.
And I didn't know how to go about like fixing it. I was like, how do I do this? And so that's when I started like really going into doing research. From there, it's something that I'm definitely passionate about. I have been thinking about going into like the credit side of things just on the side. But right now I've just been doing it for myself. And now like I'm at an 820. And so, yeah, my thing is I just want all of my sisters who are struggling with, you know, building their credit and understanding why it's important to have financial freedom to just, you know, hit me up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a big thing to get taken care of before, you know, before having a kid. So that's awesome. Yeah. And y'all hit her up for real if you need help with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So a little bit of a lighter question. Did you have a favorite pregnancy snack or craving?
You know what? When I was pregnant, I was hungry all the time. There are some people who were like, I was always nauseous, so I never ate. Like literally, like prior to pregnancy, I ate super healthy, like greens every day. When I got pregnant, it was like I was gaining weight. I was gaining so much weight because my diet had changed drastically. I went from 139 pounds at the start to 178 pounds at the end of my pregnancy. I was eating cheeseburgers, French fries, chips, nachos, soda was like...
Soda hits different when you're pregnant.
Wow.
I'm not a big soda drinker, but Sprite, I was drinking so much Sprite when I was pregnant.
But towards the end of my pregnancy, it started giving me heartburn.
See, now I had the opposite experience of you because my heart goes out to you because I was that person that always felt sick. And what it really was, people kept trying to give me like all these remedies, but they weren't working because it wasn't just nausea. It was, I had extreme heartburn, like the whole 9 months. Okay. God. So I was like nauseated in the beginning and throwing up. And then it was like just the acid reflux and the heartburn was so bad. So I was that person like, it was the worst.
That's
so like
what I don't miss. I do not miss heartburn.
No.
I do not miss acid reflux. What did they say after 16 weeks or so like that? Like your nausea goes away. So at that point, my nausea went away, and that's when my hunger
Which was not true for me, but yes, they do say that.
Yeah, it went away. I probably lasted about 18 weeks instead of 16 weeks, but it was within the time frame. It went away. I didn't have any weird cravings like, you know, pickles and ice cream mixed together or anything like that. But I did love queso cheese.
I didn't have a craving, but one thing that sat on my stomach well was pineapple. Like pineapple never like let me down. Like I didn't really throw it up. So I just ended up eating a lot of pineapple because it just felt good. It was cold, like, you know. So that was
pineapple is good for you anyway.
Yes, right.
Great for you.
So the last, I guess, quick Q&A question would be, what is one thing that you would say is important to keep with you now that you're a mother? Because, you know, it's such a huge life change, but what is one thing that's important to you to hold on to?
I think the biggest thing that as a mother you can learn, you should know is that your journey is going to look different from everyone else's.
Yes, right? 100%.
It's going to look different from everyone else's. Even though you may have a lot of loved ones who are in your corner, at the end of the day, as a mother, no one knows your child better than you do. So I would say continue to be open to accepting the advice of others, but continuing to stay true to my journey as a mother. Every baby is different.
It's so true that everybody tries to, like, the moment people know you're pregnant, it's like you suddenly get like 1,000 advisors. Everybody wants to tell you what to eat, what to do. It's like they don't know your situation. Sometimes they're just telling you things. So I completely agree. Like I say, choose your people that are going to be like the people you consult, and then shut it out the rest. I know that's what I had to do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your
like, did I ask you? Because people will tell you, oh, you're gonna go through this, and you might not even go through that. You know. So.
Yeah, and that was something that I really had to learn early in my pregnancy, was to shut a lot of people out because first of all, we had our child during a pandemic. So you're dealing with trying to protect that child while bearing the child at the same time. I had family members who ended up catching COVID and were in intensive care because of it, almost lost their life. It was just so hard. The doctors always tell you during your pregnancy phase, like, surround yourself around people who you love, get the support from them. But then on the contrary, because of the pandemic, they're like, stay in the house, wear a mask, protect yourself. So you're dealing with all of these hormones being pregnant as it is. And then this whole pandemic. And so I literally had to pray all the time. I had to find my place of peace on a daily basis. And a lot of times I had to shut out the news. I had to shut out other people's opinions. And then the doctors on top of that, they're like, oh, if you keep gaining weight, you may have gestational diabetes. And it was like, thank God I don't have gestational diabetes. I'm just getting a little chunky, but so let me be. So I think that the biggest thing in all of that is just literally allowing God to be the gatekeeper of your soul during that time. Going to God every single day in prayer with the things that are troubling you. You are protecting your peace. You are protecting your space. And that's what you need.
I definitely feel that. So now we're going to transition into a little game. So this game is called Love It or Hate It. I try to switch the games up. So we each have these paddles here. And so I'm going to name something about pregnancy. And if you love it, we're going to do this little Oprah excited yay sign. And if we hate it, we're going to give it the Tamar eye roll. Okay. We'll see if our answers are similar or different. So the first thing is, we talked about this a little bit, but the timing of your pregnancy. Do you love it or hate it? Okay. Your face had me thinking you was going to hit it with the Tamar. Okay. Yeah. Developing the baby bump. Oh, really?
I was eating so much that I was not even just gaining the belly. I was gaining like everything. So I was just like, this is not what pregnancy is supposed to be. But I'm like, it is my pregnancy.
Well, look, you looked fly. Okay. I didn't put any of your pregnancy pictures. I should have, but you made it look cute. Okay. You made it look super cute. Yes. Okay. I was in the mirror like, do I have a bump? Do I have a bump? I was getting on my husband's nerves.
You were nothing but bump. You were nothing but bump. On your birthday, I was like, see, she looks cute pregnant. I just look.
No, sis. Y'all don't listen to Kiesha. She looked cute. Y'all saw her pictures of her and her man. That's how she looked with her baby bump. Okay. Don't listen to her. But it's good to show the real because
it is because you just
might relate to out. What about people touching your bump? I'm gonna have to give it a spin. I'm gonna spin it. You didn't like it.
Depends on who it was. Or just people touching me during a pandemic in general that I don't know. It's just weird. Like, Genesis is like a magnet. Like, people go, oh my God. And then they'll have a mask on and be like, oh, you're so pretty.
Oh, no. Oh, that is
serious. Are you?
I'm going to have to get backhanded for that.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you. Sometimes it was cool. Sometimes it was too much. Because I think the pandemic hit like halfway through we were like 6 months. We both had our babies in May. So last May. So it just depends. Like, they couldn't do too much. Like, people were like, lift your shirt up. I'm like, okay, you're doing too much.
You're doing a lot.
Don't be too invasive with it. But if it's just a little cute thing, I didn't mind that. So what about smells?
Oh,
this is yes.
Everything. There were people at my job who I loved. And it was like their natural body smell. I couldn't handle it.
Oh, wow.
Handle it. And I felt horrible every single time I saw them. It was like the feeling of nausea just came over me every single time. Lavender, I would put it right up here and it would help. I felt bad because I was like, it's not you, but it is you.
Yeah, it's like your sense of smell is just so heightened. Like, I like McDonald's French fries. During pregnancy, those things smelled so bad. I would be like, get those things. Like, if someone had them, like, please open the window. Like, it smelled horrible. I'm like, stuff I even like the smell of I didn't like. Yeah. What would you say about the classes that you were offered? Like, about preparing for birth? What would you give those? I spin mine. Okay.
I wasn't able to take any of the classes that they had because of the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, it really sucked. I did go on YouTube University, but out here in Vallejo, it hit and they canceled every single thing. So it really kind of sucked because I was looking forward to experiencing
Oh, that's too bad. I spun mine because before the pandemic, I had 6 months of an in-person group. So the way they did it with my healthcare was they put you in a group with other ladies who are like pregnant around the same time as you. Nice. So we met every couple weeks or every month or something like that. So we had several meetings before it hit. And then when it hit, we just had each other's phone numbers. We were able to text each other.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. But then after that, everything was online. So we did have something, but the online, it's just like a webinar, and it's like a little, they did what they could though.
Something that I did take advantage of was like some of the resources that are available, like state mandated programs like Black Infant Health. I was involved in, and Genesis just turned 1, and I have my last session with my case manager on next week. So that is a program that I definitely recommend for any mom who's a new mom, is to see what your city is offering as far as Black infant health, because it is a state mandated program and it is free despite what income level you're in. It is still free because as you may know, like there has been studies that has linked a lot of Black moms to having a lot of complications during pregnancy and beyond. So this state mandated program has been very helpful because it provides a lot of resources to Black women in the community, again, despite your social economic status, where you are, for free. So they do a clear analyzation of where you are and what you need, your needs assessment, and it's really helpful to all moms who are carrying, or if you just had a new baby. I believe you can enter the program up until your baby is 90 days.
Okay, that's a great resource. So I'll do one more. If you would represent the birth experience by one side of the paddle for you, which one would you give it?
I'll give it this. For sure. Yay. You know what? I had some surprising moments in my pregnancy, but for overall, I really did enjoy my pregnancy.
So let's get into our main talk of the day. And I feel like we've already kind of gotten into it somewhat. So it'll just be a continuation. We're only talking about this for the people listening so that you get different perspectives, but it's not to say that your experience will be like this. I mean, everybody's got different experiences. So it's just something, maybe you can relate to, maybe you won't, maybe it'll give you something to keep in mind to prepare for or not, so just want to throw that out there. So you said that you gave yours like the thumbs up, that overall it was good. So I would say, were you afraid going into the labor process? And now that you're on the other side, what do you think about that? If you had fear, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I definitely say I was a little fearful when it came down to giving birth. I think I was fearful for all the wrong reasons, though. Like, like the whole, they're talking about, oh, your vagina is about to rip. I was like, oh, no, I only have one of those. Like, I need to save it. like that. And then also, like,
I did rip, by the way. But anyway.
You did?
I did a little bit.
I did too. But I mean, look, it's fine now.
It is fine. Yes, it's fine. Okay. But yes.
But going from a situation where you haven't experienced a whole human being coming out of you, you're just like, whoa, that's a little bit too much. Like, is it going to be the same down there? Like, what is it going to look like? Like, what's going to happen? So like, that was part of the reason. And then also just like hearing about experiences of people dying during child labor, and and as like Black women during labor, they have to be advocates of their labor experience, because we're underrepresented when it comes down to nurses and people who really are taking our health seriously during labor, during pregnancy, and all of that. So doing my research during that time, I was hearing about a lot of bad things, and it made me very fearful of like what to expect during that time. But when I literally went into Kaiser that day, I had two nurses who were of color. Both of them were African American, actually.
Wow.
And the crazy thing about it was the doctor wanted to send me home initially. I was in labor. I was in pain. I had labor the entire day at home, but I wasn't dilating enough. But the nurse did an ultrasound and was like, I'm recommending that you stay. I don't care what the doctor says. Like, you're staying here. And I just felt like there was someone on my side, like Genesis' heartbeat was dropping and they wanted to send me home. And she's like, you're not going home. So you can go ahead and get comfortable where I'm going to go ahead and check you in. And it was crazy just watching her power as this nurse who was going above the doctor's head on so many different, levels. And I was just like, yes, keep me here. First of all, I was in pain. So I was like, I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. But I would say that I was fearful. I was very scared. And, and I think it was an experience that honestly, my husband couldn't calm me down from. But at that moment, when I saw my nurse and I saw how patient and understanding and how much of an advocate she was for my situation, like all my nerves went out. I was like, I'm here. I know I'm going to be okay. I was just like, she's coming any moment now. Let me just go ahead and take this epidural because I cannot do this naturally because I'm going to die.
Okay, you touched on so many good things. So, oh my goodness. So I will say I agree with you. So in your case, you were afraid going into it, but it ended up being okay. You had the nurses, you had the pain management. You know what's interesting for me? I would say I was very afraid of a lot of things. It's like I was excited. As my belly got big, I was so excited to have a bump. But then it got to a point where it was scary. I was like, this bump's gonna have to come out. And it was like terrifying. Like that, it's like, don't get bigger. Like I'm so scared. Like, how is this gonna, girl, that scared me. The thought of it coming out scared the living daylights out of me. And I was like, whether I push it out or I have a C-section, they both scared me. But I would say looking back, everything that scared me was fine. That was like the biggest revelation of it. It's like, it was fine. Like even tearing, I was like hoping I wouldn't tear.
I heard olive oil. I heard this like, look,
the oil.
That is going to be the least of your problems.
But look, let me tell you, okay. This is okay. So now we're getting into the nitty gritty. I did the oil. Maybe y'all can hear my child. I don't know. But anyway, my husband has them. I did the oil, my husband helped me with that. But like they encourage you to like do it one way. I ripped the other way. So I was like, I should have been doing I should have been doing it more. I ripped.
Oh, but yeah, now you know.
Rip down. So I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so that was scary, but it ended up being fine. The pain, the pushing the baby, I would say that was the easiest part of it all for me because I did take the epidural. I was never uncertain about that. I was like, absolutely. Yes, I want that.
Where's the waiver? Let me sign it in advance.
Yeah. They tried to give me fentanyl at first. They're like, well, let's just start off with this. Girl, that just made me feel like in the clouds. But it did not take the pain away. So I was just like, I was just like drifting, and then I'd have a contraction. And I'm like, it's just, I don't need to drift in between the contractions.
That's what I was telling her. I specifically told, and it wasn't even my nurse who was recommending fentanyl. It was another like assistant nurse who came in and was like, we like to do gradual. We want to start off with fentanyl. And I was like, but I don't want that though. I want the epidural because I know I need it now. Like, and she's like, but we could just start until the person comes. I'm like, but if you give it to me and the person comes, do I have to wait? Because if I have to wait, then I don't want it. Like, I need it when the person comes. And she's like, no, you don't have to wait. So I'm like, okay, then go ahead and give it to me. But when she gave it to me, I was like drifting in and out of like, I was like, like it was like I was in pain, but then I wanted to go to sleep, but I was in pain. And I was like, why? That's why I just said I wanted an epidural. Like,
that stuff is epidural.
Okay, yes. I don't need that. It doesn't work.
I told everybody, I said, Jesus Christ is in that epidural. Okay. Like, oh my
After
goodness.
that, I was having the best time. I was like,
yes,
pain where?
Right.
Contraction where? Oh, it says it on the screen, but I can't feel that.
Yeah. So, okay. So we were similar to that. I know a lot of women do natural. Sorry, y'all, that we're not representing that. I love that.
Yeah.
I would
But
do it
big
again.
ups to you. Much respect. I have
Yes.
tons of respect for the moms who are natural. But if I have another baby, knowing what I know, I'm getting another epidural.
Yes. There was a man that came up to me at church. This was before the pandemic hit. He came up to me and he was just like, whatever you do, don't get an epidural. And I'm like, sir, now, first of all, have you ever pushed a baby? Like, I'm gonna need you to not tell me what I should do. And I mean, it was funny. Oh, wow. It was only funny because he goes to my church. I like him and his wife. They're cool. They're great people. But I was like, no, sir. But he told me because his sister, like something or someone he knows, like her back was never the same. And that's what I'm saying about those scary stories that people try to tell you.
Yeah, and that's what I heard too. But like, I feel fine. I'm totally fine. And
isn't it such a blessing to know that something that you build up in your mind that you can be afraid of, you don't like, you can come out on the other side and say it's okay. Like it was fine.
No, for sure. For sure.
I was also going to ask you about something else that you touched on, which was being an advocate for yourself. And I would say, I didn't go into it with any negative expectations because I haven't had any negative. No, I won't say I won't have any. During my pregnancy, I didn't have any negative experiences with my healthcare providers at all. Now, I will say they were minorities for the most part, like my OBGYN team. Both of those women, they weren't Black, but they were minorities. So maybe that was part of it. But I would just say I didn't have any negative experiences. So I didn't go in expecting that. Sometimes people who don't understand the Black experience, they might think, oh, well, it's in your mind. If you're expecting that, then that's what's going to happen. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting to have a positive experience. It was great most of the time. But I will say I was in a situation where I had to advocate for myself. It did happen. Yeah. Because once I was in labor, girl, so they didn't try to send me home, thankfully. Once the process got rolling, they had me in a nice room set up there. I was chilling, Drew and I were chilling. But at one point, my labor was stalling. And so they had a plan, like, that they were going to give me something to, like, move the labor.
Contractions, right?
The labor.
Yeah.
Which they end up doing. They just give me like the thing that can help like soften. So anyway, so they were supposed to do that every few hours. Well, Jarrell and I were there all day and I got maybe like one dose in the morning. And and my people were like changing shifts, right? Now I should say there were a couple women who were white. There was like a white nurse in the beginning and a white midwife. They were both the bomb. They were both on top of it, as well as like some other like minority healthcare providers. But then the staff shifted and the midwife on duty, she totally dropped the ball on my care, right? So then at that point I had a Black nurse and Jarrell and I were like, why has it been so long? Like we've just been in this room. So I called the nurse in. She was super nice. And I was just like, do you know why they haven't given me the next doses? And she was like, your midwife said not to. And I was like,
whoa, why?
She was like, no. And then listen to this. She said, the midwife said that your husband got mad at her and told her, don't give my wife any of this stuff. So she told me not to give you anything else. I was like, I didn't say anything of the sort. Like, I am totally fine with it.
Yeah, maybe you guys have the wrong room.
Girl, yes. So why did the nurse? She was like, I'm gonna look into this right away. She left the room, then she came back. She shut the door. So this nurse is Black. She said, now she was like, I just want to say this to you as a sister. She was like, the midwife mixed you up with another person here. Can you believe that? And so she got me, I'm sure, confused with another.
I can believe it. It sucks, but it sucks because it should be a shocker. But I mean, just the statistics show like that Black women and their health has been undermined or, dismissed for so long. Yeah. So this again, is a part of the statistics. What would have happened if you did not advocate for yourself, or you did not notice that this was going on? Because I mean, while you're in that process, you're so consumed with so many other things that it's easy for you to forget as well what you need next, and you're relying on the care, your health care, the person who is your nurse, the person who's on duty, to be able to advocate for you and to be able to give you what you need. But imagine if they didn't, which they didn't, and you completely forgot as well, But it's not really a surprise. And I think that's the reason why it's important for us to really be advocates for ourselves, but also become advocates for, and support the organizations that are here, like Black Infant Health. Because if we don't do that, then, we're still going to be that statistic.
I would say, from my perspective, I put that in the same category of like, you don't want to go in, and I believe, with the fear or expectation that you will be mistreated or mishandled. Because like I said, there were other white providers in my case who were fantastic. That nurse in the morning, she gave me a hug before she left duty. Like that's how much she was so sweet. There was another one. So, but just knowing that it can happen. And, it is a real thing that can happen. And so if it does, be prepared to speak up for yourself. Because I didn't expect that to happen. I was absolutely shocked. And that when it got cleared up, the midwife came in, but she did not apologize. She was very straight-faced. It was a very odd feeling. And I told Jarrell, I said, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want her to be the one that helps me give birth. I just didn't like I was telling her I was in pain. She was just like, no, you don't even need your epidural yet, girl. Once the nurse saw that happened to me, she ride or die. She really did. And she was like, oh no, I'm going to get the epidural person. She really rode for me. She was like, from the Lord.
Good. And like God always makes a way out of no way. He always provides somebody in your corner, and it may be the person that you least expect. And that's why when I went into my experience, and the doctor was just like, send her home, pretty much, I was just so grateful that there was a nurse who was there and was like, send her where? Home? No, we're not sending her home. She's going to sit right here. You might as well get comfortable. We're going to go ahead and check you into this room. Go ahead and clean it up, because that's where you're going to stay for the rest of the night until you give birth to this baby, because it's easy. It's easy if you do not know how to advocate for yourself to accept whatever it is, because at the end of the day, these are professionals, right?
Yeah.
So you expect that these professionals know what's the best for you.
Right.
But sometimes we're all human. By human error, we make mistakes. So it's important for you to advocate for yourself. And that's why I really recommend for those who are pregnant to look into, if you're brown, go look into Black Infant Health.
Well, thank you, Kiesha. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we touched on some great topics. Before I let you go, I want to let people know where to find you. So you can definitely go to KieshaAndrea.com, or you can follow Kiesha on Instagram and Twitter at Kiesha Andrea. She has some amazing stuff on her website. She's got her podcast, her Life Together podcast up there. And then on her handles, she'll post different things that she's doing. So do you want to say anything about your ministry or your entrepreneurship?
Pretty much you got it covered. Just go ahead and follow me on all my social media platforms. As Alicia already let you guys know, I also have a kitchen. It's Andrea's Kitchen, and it's located in Vallejo. So I do pop-up shops once a month on the last Friday of every month. So definitely check that out. You can follow me on any of my social media platforms to get more information on that. Or, if, again, I just want to be a resource. So just connect with me. Let's talk about this Queen Talk Radio, which is absolutely amazing. Thanks again, Alicia, for inviting me on here. I had so much fun. And I'm just super excited to be able to share this experience with you and to just see your podcast grow, because this is amazing, to provide this opportunity for, women to see that there's so much fun and entertainment, in the Christian realm, and it's not just all serious and but we actually have fun, and just to be able to provide more material, and just be so thankful that God is providing this opportunity for you to be a voice for our community is amazing. So just follow me on any of my social media platforms, and I will definitely reach out and say hi back.
Thank you, sis. And you guys know where to find me. You can follow me at Alicia R. Greer, or you can visit my website, www.legacy1.com/Alicia. I'm always posting my new stuff there as well. So thank you guys, and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss another episode of Queen Talk. Bye.
Bye, Alicia.